Arkansas opposing the tough lefty, Zane Adams of Alabama. This Crimson Tide team has been very tough on the opposition here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. That pitch missing. Before last night, Alabama won 18 in a row in this building. And head coach Rob Vaughn hoping his team can get back on the winning. Meanwhile, LeBron and the Crimson Tide will face Cole Gibbler, the sophomore who is making his first career start, Greg.
Yeah, high strike thrower. He's gonna pound the zone. He competes well. My question is, this is his first college start, and there are nerves that are involved with that you cannot explain. You can tell me I'm pitching as a reliever, fine. It might not happen, but you tell me I'm starting the game, I know that's going to happen. There are some nerves that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
And Gibbler will see Bryce Fowler to start things off here in the bottom of the first inning in a scoreless game. When you take a look at one of the reasons why Alabama has been so improved as of late, among those reasons at the plate right now for the Crimson Tide. He swings at the first pitch and he sends it into right field for a base hit.
Well, there are guys you got to keep an eye on. Lefty-lefty matchups, I always assume that the guy's going to be swinging early in the count. So you don't want to give him something really great to hit. Fastball outer part of the pit plate. Fowler gets things started. Now what do we got, 29 consecutive on base?
Make it 30. Yes, 30 in a row now for Bryce Fowler on base. That'll set it up for Justin LeBron, who swings and misses at the first pitch. LeBron has labored in SEC play over the last 7 games in particular. He was 1 of 5 last night. One of the top prospects heading into the 2026 MLB draft. Ground ball hit sharply over to short and just enough to get one as Cam Kojal makes a throw over to Nolan Souza to cut down Fowler, 1 down.
That's been the issue with LeBron. He is just not covering the outer part of the plate. So he gets an off-speed pitch outside, tries to hook it. And if it was a little bit more of a routine ground ball to shortstop, might have been a double play.
In steps the lefty, Brady Neal. Neal takes on the first pitch. Greg, anytime you have someone who has a high of a profile as Justin LeBron does, you're going to find your way on the scouting reports pretty easily. How do you think he's navigated that pressure?
You know what? I think a lot of it for LeBron is the fact that he's feeling like he's letting his team down. It's not that he's concerned with the draft or his draft stock. I mean, like I said, he's putting everything else together. Okay, you're not hitting for average. Fine, home runs were there. Stolen bases are ridiculous, 25 for 25. He feels like he is letting his teammates down that have now kicked it up into a new gear, and he's the one that hasn't kicked it up.
And that's one of the things to keep an eye on here, especially after a night like last night where he has the errors. And of course, that a big part of that 6-run inning for Arkansas. LeBron takes off in time, and LeBron is in scoring position.
Well, really good jump. So you're going to have, as a left-handed pitcher, you're going to have to go first move. So the first thing that ticks, you're going to go. And LeBron gets a great jump off of Gibbler. And, I mean, it's good on good. Helfrich's really good behind the plate at throwing runners out. But LeBron just finds a way. Okay, you know what? I'm 0 for 1. I can at least get myself in scoring position right here.
Finding a way to impact the game. So LeBron in scoring position with 1 down here in the bottom of the first.
I'd say that it'd be impacting a game, wouldn't you? All right. So Kojul goes behind him. They're looking for a back pick. Did he touch third base was my initial take. All right, throws up the line, goes off his body. Yep, he clips the bag, sees where the ball is. That is impacting a game. That's what scouts love. They're looking at the overall package going, we think we can clean up the batting average. We cannot create speed, power, athleticism. We can't do that. we can fix batting average.
LeBron brings in the first run as Neal is able to draw the walk. That was an error charge to Ryder Helfrich on the errant throw to third base that got away from TJ Pompey.
And that walk is attributed to LeBron. Creating havoc at first base. You're bothering me as a pitcher. And now all of a sudden, now you're at second base, now you're bothering me there. And then that run scores, now I'm a little flustered. Ball four, now I got another runner on.
Jason Torres in, and that's a great point, Greg. That has to at least take your focus off of what's going on at home plate.
Absolutely does, and it's one of the things that just kind of mystifies me about the new analytics world that we're in of the stolen base up until this past year where they had to move the bases a little closer to make it enticing. But the havoc that it creates on me as a pitcher, knowing that this dude's a base stealer, so I'd have Ricky Henderson on first base. My concentration isn't quite on Carney Lansford at the plate where it should be. Think about it. We're in our conversation. He goes, I know what it takes to win in this league. And I was like, yeah. But he was talking about roster construction. And he goes, we lost a couple guys before the season started into the draft, high school guys or JUCO guys, and it really took away from our depth and our ability to almost actually play functional fall games where I was trying to split them up and that wasn't working, and then I'd go, starting lineup versus backup guys, and he goes, that was just ugly. And he goes, it was just really difficult for me to figure out a way to have a competitive fall. And it's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And they didn't go heavy into the transfer portal.
Yeah. No, they didn't. And you're just kind of seeing it. But just to hear him say, I know what it takes to win in this league and building a roster, and everybody's just waiting for them to wake up. You're waiting for their main dudes to start hitting an SEC play. And if that starts happening like it did last night in the 8th inning, uh-oh.
One of those people, Rob Vaughn, the head coach of Alabama, when we talked to him, keenly aware that this Arkansas team was closing in on that moment, and he hopes it is not against them in totality in this series.
Yep, said the same thing to me this morning before the game. Just, they're going to wake up, just not this weekend, I hope.
That'll bring in Kuhio Aloy. And Aloy among the Razorbacks trying to get his bat going in this lineup with a runner on first in Ruiz. And Ruiz thought about going, scurries back over to first.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that has been talked about. He's hitting 162 in SEC play. It's just not where he has been and what he is capable of doing.
Adams will take a toss over to hold Ruiz. Of course, Aloy's brother, Vahivo Aloy, on that graphic we just showed you about some of the lost talent from last year's Arkansas team that reached the Men's College World Series. This one foul. Ruiz can be a threat on the base paths. He's stolen 8 bags this season and 9 attempts. Aloy behind here, 1 and 2. Stays alive.
That's the one thing. And then that pitch right there just typifies what I was talking about of spoiling a really good pitch. Fouled off a changeup, pulled it, weak ground ball down the foul left side, goes back to it, and Aloy able to stay alive and spoil a really good changeup, a little bit down, a little bit out, and stay alive in the at bat.
Adams with the advantage. But he takes another toss over to first base. Alexander Peck in the on-deck circle for Arkansas. Hit sharply in the left field for a base hit. Runners now at first and second base after the one-out single by Aloy.
Aloy came into this game hitting 0-9-1 against left-handed pitching. Gets a nice breaking ball down middle of the plate. Drives it into left field.
And this is a prime opportunity now for Alexander Peck to potentially tie this game up with runners at first and second base, one out. The first offering to Peck is outside. As a freshman, ahead in the count, 1-0. In the lineup today to put another right-handed hitter in the lineup against the lefty Adams.
Exactly, Derek. That's exactly what it is. Putting a righty in against a left-handed Adams. Hitting 500 on the year. I'm talking about Peck versus left-handed pitching. Only his second start of the year.
Peck ahead here, 2-1. Runners in scoring position in SEC play has not been a point of strength for this Arkansas lineup. 223 on the year, fouled away. And that's the thing that's surprising. You look at this lineup for Arkansas, any Dave Van Horn team, you look at them and you expect things to go their way in terms of production in key spots.
Yeah, I mean, they've had 8 consecutive years of being 8-4 coming into this series.
He's ahead here, 3 balls and no strikes. Lem wasn't necessarily considered to be the main option heading into the season to start as catcher. Brady Neal was thought to be the everyday catcher heading into the season, but Lem has been able to produce when given opportunities. They have had to undergo some changes with the outfield, so they put Brady Neal out in right. Lem in the lineup as the catcher, and he has swung the bat well at times this season for Alabama. He's ahead here, 3-1. Hits this one sharply, though, but to Nolan Souza. Eric Hines, the freshman, a part of the offensive production last night for Alabama. And how about this shot to get Alabama on the board?
Comes into the game hitting 400, 3 home runs, 5 RBI. I mean, just immense power potential. Local kid right here from Tuscaloosa. That'll get you another start.
Yeah, yes. You clear the scoreboard with a home run, you may very well find yourself in the lineup the next day. He had 3 hits as a part of the effort last night. Swings through that offering, 0-2. He has not played a ton this season, but getting the opportunities now as a freshman as this season wears on. And he has responded to those opportunities. Gibbler's ahead here, 0-2, but that's a time and a clock violation. That will mean it will be a 1-2 count.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking right at it, and I understand, okay, you're waiting on the sign to come in, you're waiting, but the number's right in front of your face.
And Hines strikes out. He went around for out number 2.
Well, you know what? If you're worried about giving up 0-2 hits, then just take the time called, throw change up, down and away, perfectly located, and get the check swing.
Gibbler trying to sit the Crimson Tide down in order here in the bottom of the 2nd inning as Chase Kroberger at the plate.
Kroberger, another surprise starter today. In Hines, I get. Kroberger, all right, you know what? This was a post-BP decision by Coach Vaughn.
He only has 1 hit this season in limited action.
It was a good hit.
Yes. That's the thing, you know, you get you take a look at the one, you say, hey, I'll take it.
All right. I mean, I only got 1 hit in the big leagues. It was a good hit. And that hit was a home run. Talking about Kroberger.
He's ahead here 3-1. And Kroberger is able to get on.
It's just one of those where you got a little bit fine and then you got behind and you got a little bit too fine and ends up 2 out walks.
Luke Vaughn, the first baseman, in with 2 down in the bottom of the 2nd and a 1-0 lead for Alabama. Kroberger back to the bag. If you're just joining us, Cole Gibbler making his first collegiate start. Takes another toss over to first base. It'll be interesting to see how long Dave Van Horn goes with Gibbler in this spot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be curious. He's thrown 4.4 2/3 innings so far this year, a couple weeks back against Florida. So the innings are there. Pitches, I think the high of the season's 86, and that was that same game against Florida, which 86 pitches, he's built up. I asked Dave Van Horn, he said he's built up, he's ready for the moment.
Fouled away. And for Gibbler, a part of a changing pitching staff for this Arkansas team. They've moved some pieces around. Hunter Dietz becoming the Friday night starter. And he had an excellent performance last night.
Yeah, well, it's easy. Dietz has been just absolutely dominant, so he moves into the dude on Friday. And Coach Van Horn.
Pompey had a home run last night in the win for Arkansas. And he's behind here, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Pompey, a dangerous threat at the bottom of the order, 7 home runs.
3rd on the team in that department, as he takes this time to make the count level at 2-2. It'll flip to the top of the order for Rutenbar and Helfrich after Pompey. Line out to left field, and this will be foul.
About a 1.5 feet.
About that, it looked like. Yeah, that was close.
Great camera work right there.
Close enough if you're Zane Adams.
Yeah, that was a changeup. That one is going to get my attention. I'm not throwing that changeup again unless I'm getting it located a lot better away from Pompey. Yeah, that's just a great piece of hitting and a great play out in right field. I was trying to figure out where he's going to go next. He hammered my changeup down the left field line. Okay, they're going to throw a fastball in. Don't quite get it there. Pompey stays inside of it. Laser to right field, and that's my catcher. Out in right field making that play.
Brady Neal has been one of the most improved players in the SEC this season. As Rudenbar swinging through the first offering. Talked about the defensive changes for Alabama a little bit ago that ended up with Neal being in right field. And that shows you the kind of development and maturity he has as a player, making the adjustment from being the catcher to going out to right field and having success with it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a mindset of going, okay, you know what? All I'm going to do is show scouts that I'm a good athlete and I can go out here and play multiple positions and I'm not stuck being behind the plate. He's having a little bit of fun with the crowd behind him because, you know, the follow through with the knee into the dirt and then the flip and everything else.
Hit sharply out to right field, and this is a fair ball. It'll be extra bases for Carter Rutenbar, and he will head to second base with a one-out double.
Neal is not getting to this one. This ball is blistered. Slider that did not slide. Stays middle of the plate down. Rutenbar gets down there, dives out, covers it. Stand-up double.
15 straight games now that Rutenbar has reached base for the Razorbacks. And this has been a point of concern for Dave Van Horn. They've been able to get guys on in scoring position, but they have not been able to cash in on opportunities. We'll see if Helfrich can deliver here.
Last night, 1 for 10?
Alabama 1 for 10.
Alabama was 1 for 10.
And then Arkansas 3 of 6 with runners in scoring position. So far today, Arkansas 0 for 2, including a strikeout with runners in scoring position. This one off the glove of Torres, and everybody's safe. Runners at the corners with one down.
Well, now it's 1 for 2. That's why they called it in the infield.
That will bring in Micah New. New, one of 3 batters to strike out today for Arkansas, but he's got a great opportunity with runners at first and third. And he's behind 0-1.
Found over my career that guys are ultra aggressive early in the count with runners in scoring position. You saw New right there swinging at first pitch. He's a lot better when he's ahead in the count, hitting 333. See if Adams can take advantage of that. Use that aggressiveness against them with a changeup, something off speed, get him to expand the zone.
Rutenbar over at third, Helfrich at first. Fouled away again.
And there's that slider that we talked about. Good pitch to run down and in, trying to run it down through the down and in swing zone of a right-handed hitter. Now Adams probably looking for a punch out here with runners on first and third. Where's he going to go?
Another throw to first. Helfrich not necessarily known as a stolen base merchant, just 5 stolen bags on the year.
And the throw from Holt just low in the dirt. I don't know if he would have got him anyway.
So Rudenbar in to score to even the game up at 1 apiece. Cam Kojal now in. Oh for 1 on the day. Arkansas has been a tough team to double up in SEC play. Heading into the weekend, they just had grounded into a double play once in SEC games, as Kojal missing the mark there on that swing. Breaking ball just missing. When we come back after the break, we will hear from the Friday night starter for Arkansas, Hunter Dietz. It'll be fun to chat with him after his performance last night. New over at first base with the 2-1 count on Kojal. Make it 2-2. One in for the Razorbacks, and New is in deep trouble.
Putting together a quality start for our guys, not, getting deep into a game to set us up for the weekend.
I listened to your interview when after you pitched against Auburn, and you talked about really trying to find stuff in game. Correct?
What do you mean find stuff?
Like your curveball's not working.
Oh, yeah.
You stay with it, and you're able to be patient and find stuff. I just want to give you a tip of the cap, and you may want to talk about it, but a tip of the cap, because that is major league level mentality of going, okay, I can't just go, okay, my cutter's not working today, I'm just going to skip it. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate the fact that you're out there with a major league mentality of going, okay, I'm going to keep working to find it. How do you, can you explain to everybody how you work to find stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's every day in the middle of the week. Today is the only day I really take off throwing, but every day from now until my next start, I'll work on those cues that'll get me back to where I need to be. I'll work on those cues that'll, getting me back to the
scoring position. 13th stolen base of the year for Brennan Holt.
Another good jump, and man, with a left-handed pitcher, you're going first move. You can't wait for them to come up with a leg kick and then decide if you're going to go once they break towards home. You got to go first move. So they're picking their timing very well.
Fowler hits this one into shallow right field. An easy play for Nolan Souza.
What I'm talking about is you got to go first move. So as soon as anything flinches as a base runner, you are going. You can't wait around for the leg kick to come up, and then you start to see it breaking towards home, and then you go. As soon as that leg comes up, you're going, and if he is going to pick off, then you're dead. You're out. And so that's the gamble versus left-handed pitchers. And so far, Alabama's been successful. 2 out of 2 from first base to second base.
3 stolen bases overall for Alabama, and Justin LeBron fouls that one off. An aggressive approach there by LeBron.
So he's been seeing soft stuff, which you would expect. It's just a natural reaction of going, a guy's got 11 home runs, not throwing him a fastball. Here's soft, here's soft, here's soft. Well, now he has moved on to the soft velos, and it's taken him away from really getting good fastballs that he should hit. And he is kind of in between velocities right now. It's just another aspect of his struggles.
Number 3 on the MLB draft prospect board, according to Kylie McDaniel. And you can see there when you watch him play, he has the tools. Accounting for the only run today for Alabama, now 16 games in a row where he has reached base. He can untie this game with a swing of the bat. Yanks that one foul.
A little cutter, slider in, spoiled the pitch. But now I've kind of sped up his bat a little bit. Look for Gibbler to go with the changeup, something soft, down, out of the zone, away.
Holt able to get back to the bag. And they, speaking of the Alabama offense, they have given Helfrich and Gibbler a workout here, dancing around on the base paths, and of course including the stolen bases.
That got a smile on his face. This is a really good pitch. Breaking ball, back door. He gets out there, is able to hook it up the middle. That is something that he has not been doing. He has not been using the whole field. He's been more pull. That's just a great piece of hitting. And as I talked about Arkansas, everybody's kind of waiting on them to wake up, and you just kind of hope it's next week. That's the same thing with Justin LeBron. Everybody goes, you know he's going to wake up. Maybe it'll just be next week.
Pitch 50 for Cole Gibbler. Over to second base to throw. A little bit of an adventure from Souza to Peck. But it's able to cut down Brady Neal for the second out.
All right, I'm a little bit confused. I'd like to take LeBron off the bases. I don't want to give him at second base and put him.
It's not going awesome for you, and that's the kind of kid he is, man. That leadership shows up not because of his individual success, but just the respect he has of his teammates with the way he goes about his business. And man, I'm fortunate to get to be around a kid like him every day.
Coach, we'll let you get back to it. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, boys. Real time.
This one hit well out to left field, but able to track it and make the catch is Kroberger for out 2. Justin LeBron, as we talked about with Rob Vaughn, a major factor in this game, the RBI single, but also the 3 stolen bases. And how about the jump from last year to this year in terms of stolen bases?
Yeah.
11 ahead of where he was last year.
I mean, it's thoroughly impressive. And I mean, we talked about it. Coach talked about it. Just a great player. The struggles are there, but the leadership still is a huge piece that you cannot teach, can't quantify. No, he's just a rock star.
No doubt about it. As LeBron and his team up 2-1 here as a conference taking place here before the at-bat with Kuhio Aloy. Aloy 1 for 1 on the day, singled back in the second.
Probably a conversation about approach, thought process. Had a nice AB in the second inning where he leaned out and hooked a slider into left field. The conversation might be going, all right, you know, give up away. They're going to probably try to run one in on you to keep you honest. Look for that. Try to do some damage here with 2 outs, nobody on.
One.
He tried to do some damage.
He tried to hit that one well out of here on that swing. Instead, it's 1-2. Adams missing to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's what I'm talking about. He was looking to do some serious damage.
2-2. In the dirt for a ball, 3-2. If you're a pitcher and you see that in your mind, I mean, you're trying to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Maybe over eagerness, perhaps.
Absolutely. And you saw Adams' next pitch was a changeup.
And you're talking about some all-time legends in that '83 College World Series, including Barry Bonds.
ASU, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was just had Greg Swindell at Texas come through there. You just going through all the guys.
Two and two to John Lim. Over to Souza. Makes the backhanded stab and the throw to first. Alabama is 26-9 so far this season, and their eyes are on much greater prizes throughout the course of the season. Their last regular season title in the SEC 2006, the last time they won the SEC tournament 2003, and the last College World Series appearance 1999. And in our discussion with Rob Vaughn, he mentioned that, trying to get this team back to that point.
Yeah, and he felt like last year they didn't win enough series, was what they were told for them to host. And so, you know, the numbers for hosting a regional and then getting to host a super regional and then moving on are so in your favor if you're at home, especially, you know, hometown crowd like you got here in Tuscaloosa. And so they felt like they didn't win enough series last year. And so it becomes a little bit of a focus. Try not to focus on it too much. You know, you want to stack the wins, but Rob Vaughn's got him definitely going in the right direction. A sprinter that you'll watch is just head down. You're focused on just pounding the feet and getting there as fast as possible.
Luke Vaughn 0-1 after missing that first pitch. 0-1 on the day. As Kroberger takes the lead, heads back to the bag. How about Chase Kroberger? He has 2 hits now in the season, a bunt and a home run.
That's why you love baseball. I would expect for him to possibly be in motion here pretty soon. See if he can get his first stolen base.
He stays put.
Now keep an eye on it on 0-2. Your hitter's in a hole. You want to give him a chance maybe coming up next inning after seeing a couple pitches from Gibbler. If you get thrown out, if not, you're in scoring position.
That pitch up the ladder, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Greg, you mentioned the run last season for Alabama and the thought that maybe they had a chance to host. This year, according to the D1 baseball projections for the field of 64, they would be a host, at least right now under the current projections. And you look at their RPI, it's 3rd in the nation.
Yeah.
It's only behind UCLA and Texas.
Well, I mean, that's putting the numbers together, and we've seen what RPI means to the guys that do the picking. And Alabama's in a great spot, but you're halfway through the SEC, so I haven't even started looking at projected, you know, regional, super regionals.
Full count to Luke Vaughn. If he reaches, Brennan Holt will step in to continue the inning. And now time called by Ryder Helfrich. He'll go out to the mound.
I was talking with Jason Jackson before the game as well, and we were just kind of running through that sequence of what we just talked about, winning series, winning games. And I was just kind of laughing because I was like, the mentality at the major league level is, I got 162 games. I don't care that we're playing the Rangers for 3 and that we win 2 out of 3. You just like, you just win games and you just do what you do. And you know, and then he got into the importance and what I just talked about of how they felt like it kept him out of the super. But we also got into the biggest moments in games.
And there's a walk putting on Luke Vaughn.
That you look back on, and you can only look back because you don't know that when you're in it, it's a huge pitch. But that was a huge pitch for me. You know, you got a chance to get out of the inning if you're Gibbler, and you got the 9-hole guy leading off next inning, and you really didn't throw a competitive pitch where you give Vaughn a chance to at least maybe swing at something out of the zone. This was just a non-competitive breaking ball at 57 feet. And so that's a big pitch in the game. If this guy ends up coming up and getting a base hit right here and, you know, opening up the lead, that was the pitch you look back on.
Absolutely, as Holt fouls away the first pitch. Holt has struggled over the last 7 games at the plate, but he has a chance to.
The lefty-lefty matchup. Fastball that does not get quite away. Holt down.
That'll be an error also against John Lim. The appeal down to first, not in favor of Alabama. Still only 1 out. And Rudenbar at third base. Two and two. Adams deals, and that missing inside. Full count.
Wow. It's been fastball, curveballs all inning, and here comes a short, tight slider down and in. Looks just a little bit off the plate. Great take by Helfrich.
Pulled foul and out of play.
These are the spots right here that Arkansas has been unsuccessful in finding a way to get the runner in. Really nice at bat by Helfrich. Takes that slider in that missed by a couple inches. And then good location on the fastball by Adams, but Helfrich leans out there and drives it out to center field for an easy sac fly.
Mike Anu behind Owen. Gibbler pulling up on the longest outing of his career. Even though this is his first collegiate start, he has shown the ability to give Arkansas some length out of the bullpen. He went 4 2/3 against Florida earlier this season. Into the 5th here.
I guess the 5th inning must be for curveballs. Because it's like we hadn't seen a curveball. I know both pitchers throw curveballs, but they have been fastball, slider, changeups all day today. And then all of a sudden, 5th inning comes around, and this talking about Zane Adams too. Curveball, curveball, curveball. And these are some nice hooks that they're just keeping back.
And that's fouled away. You talked about it earlier. Dave Van Horn mentioned they've been building up Cole Gibbler for this situation, giving him a start. Now into game action, I mean, what do you think's going through his mind here as he gets later into the game?
I think right now he's just on his own. He is in uncharted territory. He's done his job. They got somebody warming up in case he gets in trouble, and they're just going, hey, you know what, go as hard as you can. We'll come get you when it's your time.
Eaves continues to get loose in the bullpen. Full count to Brady Neal.
ERA, one of their main guys, 23 innings, 19 hits, 216 batting average against.
And Greg, you talked about it earlier, that starting pitchers for Arkansas, a lot of times they have not figured into the decision. It's been the bullpen guys who have been involved in some of these outcomes for the Razorbacks.
Here's another one. He didn't get through 5 innings, so this one's going to be a bullpen decision.
Eaves against Jason Torres with Brady Neal at second base and 1 out.
So we got a little bit different stat coming out of the bullpen for Arkansas. The bullpen is giving up inherited runners at a 50% rate, which is not that good.
Popped in the air, but out of play and foul.
And then on the other side of it, the Arkansas bullpen's getting the first hitter out at 67%, which is really good. So you got a little bit of an issue here. Let's see what happens. Well, LeBron, nobody was there. And so thankfully he resets and is able to get the out at first base, goes down as a sac bunt. Here's what I'm talking about. Okay, hard bunt, you go as a pitcher going, okay, I'm going to lead out. Look at him, he's looking at second base, and LeBron's not quite there, and he's not comfortable making that throw, so he goes, I'm taking the out. That's a very veteran move.
Aloy in, and he's ahead here 2-0, and play like that, it's got to be a snap judgment.
Oh, and it's just that snap. You're going, okay, you recognize it the more you do it in PFPs of going, okay, ball's bunted hard, I got a shot at the lead runner. And you come up and he makes a nice move and he gets his feet square and he's getting ready to fire a 90-mile-an-hour dime over to second base, and he doesn't feel like LeBron's moving that way, and he resets his feet and gets the out at first.
Hio Aloy ahead 3-0, and it's a 4-pitch walk to put runners on at first and second base for Alexander Peck.
First baseman, number 9, Alexander Peck.
Pitch 95 from Zane Adams coming up. He gets Peck there to get ahead 0-1.
I'm looking in the dugout waiting to see if they're going to go, and got a righty warming up for Alabama. You got righty up here now, lefty Souza, and then Pompey. And so I'm going, okay, if he gets through this at bat, you let him face Souza, and then you give your reliever a clean inning, next inning hypothetically to face Pompey if this all works out clean for Alabama.
Hojel at second base, Aloy at first. 1-2.
When in doubt, when it's time to dance, Zane Adams going to that nasty changeup down and away. Got to protect it a little bit, show a fastball, then come back to it. Great pitch to get a double play ball on.
Inside and tight to Peck, who is one of the 4 strikeout victims in this game. Adams looking for his 5th strikeout of the day. This one hit out towards left field, back to the track. The catch is made by Kroberger. And everyone stays in place at first and second base. Now 2 down.
That was about the sequence I expected. You got the changeup to get to 1 and 2. You show the fastball up and in, and then you go back to the changeup. Adams just didn't locate it well enough to get that ground ball. That's the usual result on getting out front on a changeup.
Nolan Souza with 2 on and 2 outs. Arkansas up 1. And Souza swings through the first pitch.
Anybody else noticing that Torres is now back at close to normal third base after the double from Souza on a curveball that was just flared down the left field line?
Pitch 101 from Adams is a ball. Well, an experience like that will it will educate you on what to do the next time.
Just in case, we're going to keep the third baseman a little bit closer to have somebody on that side of the field.
Fouled away, and Adams is a strike away from getting out of the inning. He lays off of that one, 1 and 2.
And it's just a constant adjustment for your rest of your life in baseball of, okay, this is what they're doing to me. This is what I have to do now.
And it's a 3rd strikeout of the day for Eric Hines.
The cut fastball is about 4 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour off. It breaks 4 to 5 inches, comes out of the hand looking like a fastball, and you see the swing. Hines isn't picking it up, and it's all Eves is throwing to him, going, all right, you know what? As soon as you hit it, I'll stop throwing it.
Justin Osterhaus is now in to pinch hit for Chase Kroberger. Osterhaus has played a lot this season out in left field. So the junior will pinch hit, and he swings at the first pitch, puts it in the right field, and he has a pinch hit single.
Got one. Drove it right back up the box.
That'll set it up for Luke Vaughn, who is looking for his first hit of the day. Walked in his last plate appearance. Another inning of work for Eves. As he takes a glance over to first.
They get that an error?
Not yet.
See, they usually give that a hit. It's because he made the play very difficult by the running throw.
Correction, Reese Robinette is in the game over at first base. It is going to be counted as an error officially now against TJ Pompey.
Yeah, you just don't see that often getting called an error, especially with your home team hitting and your home official scorer calling.
Holt takes. 2-1.
A chance. This is the difference in the SEC season right here. Just the little things where you take advantage of an error, you take advantage of a hit by pitch.
And time is called here by Ryder Helfrich. Something went wrong.
Technical issues.
As he quickly started pointing at his ear. And the communication to Helfrich has gone awry.
I mean, if it doesn't work, you know that nobody's talking to you. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I've never had it on. I got enough voices in my head, it would drive me nuts. But is it when like nobody's talking anymore, or does it stop mid-sentence so you know it's broken? I'm not quite sure. You know, when the Helfrich was panicking right there because he was getting up against the pitch clock.
Right, and I'm sure you're spot on with the timing reference. That's, I'm sure, a part of it. Perhaps waiting for something that never arrived.
Yeah. And then it gets down to 5 count, and you're going, I'm not getting anything anymore.
2-1 to Holt. Make that 2-2.
If you're Eaves right here, you got to find a way to pick up your teammate. You had a chance to have 2 outs, runner on second base. Now you got to find a way to go, okay, I got to get 2 more outs here. I got to keep that tying run from scoring.
Popped in the air and into the stands.
And dropped.
That's always a tough look when you cannot come up with a foul ball.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, they're not used to the balls actually breaking back towards the pitching mound, so they think it's over their head, then all of a sudden it's dropping right on top of them.
And this one gets away from Helfrich. The runners will advance to second and third base. So 2 in scoring position for Alabama.
Should go down as a wild pitch. It was close. Helfrich would tell you that he would should pick that ball. Cut her down in the dirt.
Full count pitch to Holt. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Alabama.
Alabama's 9-hole hitter. 1 for 1 with 2 walks and a stolen base. That is leading up to Fowler and LeBron coming up, and Neal.
And Holt is one of those troublemakers. When he gets on the bases,
yeah,
you got to keep an eye on him.
Well, he ain't going anywhere right now. He's kind of stacked up and jacked up here, and the bases loaded. But he has now made things a lot more difficult for this Arkansas pitching staff.
But what an opportunity it creates for the top of the order. Bryce Fowler heads to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Fowler, dangerous with runners in scoring position this season, hitting .432. So Holt at first base, Vaughn at second, Osterhaus at third. And that first pitch wide, 1-0. Fowler has really been on the mark in his last 20 games, hitting .386 during that span. 4 of 8 this season, by the way, with the bases loaded as he fouls that pitch away.
Put a good swing on it.
And now Justin LeBron. LeBron had an RBI single back in the third. He'll try to break the tie. He lays off the first pitch this time. 1-0. Two on, two out. LeBron fouls this one away.
Seeing Eves use his curveballs often as he normally does against right-handed hitters. Today it's been more fastball cutters.
Fouled away again.
Starting to see LeBron getting out there and covering some stuff on the outside part of the plate.
Last two have been pushed out towards right field. Now the 1-2.
He's looking locked in right here.
Big opportunity with 2 outs, 2 on. In a tie game. And LeBron strikes out. Chopper. And an easy play off the toss over to first base. So LeBron able to get the first out of the inning, but that does move Pompey over to third base. So mission accomplished for Arkansas.
Well, that's the trust I think Dave Van Horn has in Rutenbar, is that he goes up there going, I'm not going to have you bunt. I need you to hook something to the right side. And you could see he tried to hook that fastball up and away and got the job done.
This one's scooting away from Lim. But he's able to retrieve it before Pompey can make any significant movement from third base. The infield in for Alabama. One and one. Mitchell delivers the hook on the second offering to Helfrich. Good block by Lim. 2-1.
That one might got him on the right hand. Being a former breaking ball guy, man, with the runner on third base, and that's my out pitch. You have to trust your catcher to be a wall back there. And Lim does a nice job of getting out front of that breaking ball in the dirt. I'd probably see if he wanted to maybe throw a baseball. That was a changeup, actually. You could see Mitchell really get on the inside of it and screwball it over. I would ask him to throw the baseball one time back to me. I'm just saying, because he just got hit on the hand. Things are numb, things hurt. I'd hate for this next throw back to the pitcher to get launched.
Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tie game at 4. Top of the 7th inning. Alabama trying to even up this series with a win today. And Helfrich able to stay alive, fouling that pitch off.
It's just a nasty changeup from Mitchell.
A little bit off. Count full.
Goes back to the slider. How much did this miss by? It's 4 or 5 inches.
Justin LeBron was playing in, and that ball was hit sharply by Helfrich. And it caught a piece of LeBron. He was able to recover to at least make the throw.
Looked like he bodied it up. So I'm wondering if something got him in the stomach area. Then he went down quickly. Stomach area.
That's a good description.
Thanks.
You will go down in pain if you get hit in that region, the stomach region. Arkansas able to gain the lead after that play.
Deal with tomorrow and coach tomorrow.
And Brady Neal able to draw the walk here. And that's one thing you don't want to do fresh out of the bullpen. And that started up with a leadoff walk.
I want the analytics on leadoff walks over the history of baseball. My theory was like 71% of them scored because it seemed like 100% of mine always scored.
Here's Jason Torres. He's had a tough day at the plate. 0-1.
Dave Van Horn gave Fisher a clean inning. So as a starter, you're going out there, you really never get used to walking into an inning with traffic all over the bases. So gives him a clean start. Fisher probably did not find himself on the mound like he normally would. Nice pick. Who gets a great outing on the mound?
2-2 pitch inside and tight to Cam Kojal. Three-two as Kojal hits this one well out to left field. It's off the wall. Kojal digging for second base. Can he get there? He cannot. He is out off the tag by Holt. What a play from Osterhaus, making the throw to Holt.
Arkansas. Osterhaus throws a laser. Did he get in there?
It looks like from that angle, Kojal is safe.
I thought on my first initial look was that he was trying to do a little swim move of give the right arm and then put the left one in there. I think he got tagged on the chest. Everybody thinks they're right.
Yes, no doubt about that. Is the interesting part of that play.
They're standing next talking to each other. I'm right. No, you were out. I tagged you right here. No, you did not.
It looked like Kojal got the arm in before the tag.
You know, I mean, all I can do is come back to Dave Van Horn saying I had to shake things up. Guys were getting comfortable. Veterans coming to the ballpark knowing that they're in the lineup, and then all of a sudden it's like they're not in the lineup and you're moved down spots. Don't take this game for granted and don't come to the ballpark assuming you're going to play. And so all of a sudden it might have just sparked a little bit of a fire where if at the end of this thing Arkansas is in it and here they go on another trip to Omaha where that little Dave Van Horn shakeup.
Another toss over to Ruiz.
I think Ruiz is about as extended on a lead as you're going to possibly get Mitchell is bang. These are bang bang. I wouldn't try to get another half step if I'm Ruiz.
Breaking ball, pulled foul. Of course, we're getting closer and closer to the SEC tournament, so the postseason is on the horizon as this next pitch misses 1-2. So we're getting to the point where it's becoming money time for these teams in the SEC to figure out their identity if they haven't already.
I mean, I just think the great thing about this, the SEC and all that it is.
Ground ball sneaks by LeBron into center field. 3 straight hits now in the inning for Arkansas.
Just a two-seam fastball down. Now Lloyd drives it back up the middle. But what I was about to say was these guys get a really good feel of the competition, of how important the at-bats are in the 4th inning, the 3rd inning, to, you know, have a 9-pitch at bat, and all of a sudden the starting pitcher's out an inning early and you get to the bullpen, and little things that end up resulting in wins are the difference between 16-14 and 13-17.
Luke Smyers was getting loose in the bullpen, and now he will make his way into the game. That'll be it for Sam Mitchell. His day is done. The Razorbacks out in front by 2.
To the third base side, so this is not his ball. This is Luke Vaughn's ball. Luke's a little bit uncertain. We're going to have an offensive timeout right now. But Luke Vaughn's a little bit uncertain, and Brennan Holt's a little bit late getting over. The ball just does not come. Excuse me, Brennan Holt was on time getting there. It just, ball did not come out of the glove of Luke Vaughn. And these are the aspects right here that SEC head coaches just drives them nuts. I mean, the hours and hours they spend on bunt defenses, and then to lose an out, leave an out on the field.
It's not an error, but it's a lapse defensively.
It's a should have been out.
And it loads the bases with nobody out for Nolan Souza. So 4 straight hits.
How about the 0-2 bunt?
That's a gamble into itself, of course.
It is.
And you had just said moments ago, and you're right, Reese Robinette did not look all that comfortable bunting.
No, he did not.
And then he goes ahead and bunts with 2 strikes.
Well, Van Horn's like, all right, you know what? If you're not going to do the job on the first 2, you're going to stay up there and either, you know. He went up there hunting something. Looked like a changeup. And just like last night, 8th inning, finishes off the damage, and it is a hanging changeup. Talked about him earlier. That's a lot of pop in the bottom of the lineup.
The 2nd straight game in this series where TJ Pompey has homered.
He's had good at bats the whole night. Lined out in the 3rd inning. Got hit by pitch to clog the bases up in the 5th. Double last inning to lead things off. And then that bomb, he was sitting soft because that changeup wasn't too bad.
Not bad for the 9-hole hitter. So between the game today and last night, Arkansas has scored 11 runs in the 8th inning.
Well, it's not like you could do anything to defend it. You can't sit there as a team and go, okay, they're really good in the 8th inning. You know, for the last couple of nights, we need to do better. But it's just been a piece by piece of everything falling apart for Alabama.
Rudenbar strikes out for the second out of the inning.
The catcher, number 27, Ryder Elford.
That'll bring in Ryder Helfrich. Again, this inning started with a Cam Kojal double. And remember, that was the challenge play where originally he was called out. The call got reversed. And the inning spiraled out of control thereafter.
Double, single, single, single. Sacrifice fly. Home run. That'll put a game away.
Yes. Especially at this point of the contest. A 6-run lead now for Arkansas.
Look for Helfer to try to do some damage right here. Hitting 300 when he's ahead in the count.
Three 1, and that one is just foul.
You ever notice the umpires never go into fair territory when the ball's hit right at them?
They're running towards that open real estate.
Joe Harris at third base is just getting out of the road.
In the left field, that drops for a hit. Hines on base for the first time today.
Well, Fisher finally, Hines finally got a fastball. Fisher's going, I got a 6-run lead. Let's see what you got, big boy. Hines puts a good swing on it and spins it to left field. Things are getting started for Bama.
Justin Osterhaus will attempt to keep it going. There's a strike. 0-1. The lefty Colin Fisher just missing with the bender. Off the mark, 2-1. And this eerily similar to what happened last night. Alabama led 3-1 last night. And then the six runs in the 8th inning took place. Today, they were up 3-1. And while the explosion was a little bit more spread out, they allowed 5 runs in the 8th. And 4 lead for Arkansas.
Fisher's thrown a couple good pitches this inning. He hasn't gotten the calls. 3-2 count. Looking for a guy to get some outs right here. Alabama down to their last 6 outs. You just don't want to give them a glimmer of hope. You know, you don't want to get a couple guys on where somebody's got a chance to run into one, and then all of a sudden it becomes a 3-run lead, and now the 9th inning becomes interesting.
chopper right back to Fisher. Makes a throw to Robinette at first. Hines moves down the way to second base into scoring position with 1 out.
Really nice play by Fisher. I mean, this is a routine chop, yes, but he doesn't even think about looking at second base. He knows that it's going to be close enough at first base that he just goes, I'm taking the out, little routine chopper back to him, but he's going, I got no chance of getting second base, and I might lose first base if I come up looking at second.
Action in the bullpen for Arkansas. Parker Coyle, who appeared in the game last night to close things down for the Razorbacks, getting loose.
I'm sure Dave Van Horn would love for Colin Fisher to finish this thing off and keep his bullpen intact for tomorrow night. Would be a perfect scenario, but he's got a couple guys up just in case. He's thinking the same way I am, was where you don't want to make this thing interesting.
That drops into left field for a base hit. Hines stays put at third. Runners at the corners with 1 out. It's a single for Luke Vaughn.
Fisher in a little bit too much of a protective mode where he's behind in the count and he doesn't want to walk anybody, so he's throwing fastballs that are catching a lot of plate. These are still SEC hitters, so both Hines and Vaughn get fastballs, predictable counts, and lace them to left field.
So Hines at third base, Vaughn at first for Brennan Holt. Strike 1. Holt has reached base all 3 times in this game, including scoring a run back in the third.
This has got a chance to get interesting if Holt gets on.
Absolutely.
And I don't say that very often with 6-run deficits.
Off the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alabama has scored in each of the innings that Holt got on. So in the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th. Takes again.
A little too much arm side run.
Cam Kojal steps to the plate with New on. And if Arkansas can hold on here, it would give them not only a series win, but one on the road, and it is not easy to win in the SEC on the road by any stretch. Tough play for Holt, and Kojal is out at first base. He believes he's safe, and he wants this to be challenged.
Arkansas is challenging the call at first base.
Well, if Micah New doesn't run, this ball goes up the middle. So the middle infield converges on the stolen base. Great. I don't know.
Very close. One more look.
I got him as out. Kojal's 1 for 2.
That foot. I think you're right, partner.
It was close. It was, I mean, you know, if we get Hawkeye to break it down, he'll run.
After replay, the call on the field is out. Arkansas still has 1 challenge remaining.
So indeed, Cam Kojal is out, but New able to advance to second base on the play. So that means one down, a challenge lost for Arkansas.
Now, if we ever get to the point where Hawkeye can break it down to where you can see exactly where the spike is on the base, then we're going to have a whole new game. Whole new.
I think we'll get there at one point.
See where the spike is?
What?
He's got one piece of a spike on there. Now let's go to a different angle and, yep, sync him up.
Damian Ruiz takes low and away for a ball, 2-0. Of course, the ABS system making a lot of news on the major league side. It'll be interesting to see how that is received in the long term in Major League Baseball.
Well, they did it in 2D. And so, I mean, it needs to be in 3D because it's wherever it crosses home plate, but they're afraid of all the big sliders that go sweeping out and looked like they missed by a foot. But Randy Johnson coming from a low sidearm and throws a 4-foot breaking slider, at some point it's going to cross home plate. But in the 2D that they have it now, it doesn't show it doing that. But if it was actually a 3D, at some point it catches that front corner, but it looks like it misses by 2 feet, and they don't want it to be embarrassing, is all it is.
The 2-0 on the way to Ruiz. It's a strike. Would you like to see that system in the college game?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? They're doing it so well that it's so quick, it's so efficient that it's not really a problem. It's just you get 2 misses.
New takes off and he steals third base without a throw. How about this running game today of Arkansas? It has been timely and effective.
Well, that'll bring the Alabama infield in. Mitchell was not, Austin Morris wasn't paying enough attention to Micah New, and he took off and got a good lead, got a good jump.
3-2 to Ruiz. And there is a 1-out walk from Morris.
Designated hitter, number 25,
Kahio Aloy will have a chance now with runners at first and third.
Hit the ball hard a couple times today.
Ruiz takes off for second base as that ball was in the dirt for John Lim.
Lim got another one on the right hand.
He is shaking that loose, trying to find the feeling. And really, since Zane Adams left this game, it's just been seemingly constant pressure from this Arkansas offense against Alabama's bullpen.
You're absolutely right. Adams, 6 innings. Ball game was on. It was 4-3. Alabama was right there. And the bullpen has just scuffled since coming in.
Their lead increases to 11-5.
First baseman, number 18, Reese Robinette.
This one's just, Fowler reads this big swing off the bat, and it's a kind of a toed off the end of the bat of Aloy and falls in front. But right now there's a little bit of frustration going on the Alabama side. They can't seem to find a way to get out of this inning. Arkansas is continuing to run. And it's just, I guess frustration is the only thing I got. I mean, you can just kind of see it in the body language right now where Alabama feels like, hey, we got one back. And now Arkansas is running and doing everything that they've been doing and just kind of pouring it on.
And another game obviously left in this series coming up tomorrow. And this is territory that this Alabama team really hasn't been in for a little while now. They didn't start out the season with a lot of momentum. After they got swept by Kentucky to start the SEC season, they came back, gathered themselves, and then went on a run. But now they're not only are they getting really taken to task here, it's happening in their building. And they're 3 outs away from losing this series. Tate Robertson getting loose in the Alabama bullpen, and he may be the next pitcher